we're on.
What are you really gambling with?
Another massive episode of Hold All Tickets. We've got 4 Group 1s, Lamby.
We do, and I'm tipping a big outsider in the Metrop Brown Dog, and an early crow features in the Self Trumpeters this week.
Well, and we're going to be talking all things spring with Katelyn McDonald.
Coming up now on Hold All Tickets. Welcome to another episode of Hold All Tickets, brought to you by Tab. Watch every race live this spring carnival across 4 main channels with the fastest live vision on Sky 1 and Sky 2. Well, spring is certainly heating up. We're right in the thick of it now, Lamby, Marcus. How was your weekend, lads?
Apart from the Friday night bloodbath at the Valley, that was an absolute strip out on the punt. Abounding putting the finishing touches on what was a shocker in the last race, but it was a good weekend. Saturday was better at Sandown, and of course, grand final, always an enjoyable day, Brownie.
Similarly, on the Omen bets didn't quite live up to expectation this time, but it was a big and fun weekend. Yeah,
it was certainly tough. My 2 best were race 1 and race 2 at the Valley. I thought the long weekend would start beautifully, and I think we went
a bit of a bank. That was the plan.
We went about as well as the Catters went, didn't we?
Both crossed the line second, didn't they?
Yeah, they did. We've got Katelyn McDonald joining us as well to talk all things Spring Carnival, and obviously James getting the coach's orders to fly to Melbourne and fly and ride Via Sistina, which
we'll
was
have
interesting.
To ask her about that.
Absolutely. Let's jump into the Group 1 racing, because there's 4 across the weekend, 3 up in Sydney, and the main race up there is the Epsom. Really good race, this one, obviously. Autumn Glow going in as a short price favourite, thanks to Tab, $2.25. Pericles, $6.50. Chow Wolf, $8. Will he do it? $8.50, double figure odds for the rest of the field here, Lammy. How do you see this race panning out? Obviously, Autumn Glow has drawn the widest in 14.
Yeah, the barrier draw has added another element of interest to it, and that's probably why we're getting upwards of $2 for Autumn Glow.
So open at $1.95, and it's just been drifting out.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see what McAvoy does. I think he'll chance his arm a little bit and try to get across early. He's got Magneteer and Yellow Brick close by, who will probably go forward, so might be able to get a card across there. Really nice map for Pericles. El Castello can position up behind the leaders. Look, Autumn Glow, I think, is the most likely winner. 6 from 6, hasn't put a foot wrong, but I think there's a better bet in the race. I think Pericles the place at basically the same odds as Autumn Glow to win. I think that's the better bet. No map issues for him at all. He'll land in the first 4. Dominant winner over 1,400 for Bjorn, who's absolutely airborne, just improving every horse he gets. And beaten less than a length in the Group 1 Donny when he wasn't going as well. So ticks a few boxes, and second up record, 6 starts, 5 top 2 finishes. So Pericles the place will be my bet. Okay. And you could also have a little same race multi, Autumn Glow top 2, Pericles top 3.
So what do you reckon the right price is for Autumn Glow? Do you think that little drift continues? We're not going to get better than 250-ish.
She could start 250.
Yeah.
I can't see her starting in the red anyway.
Would you take that price?
250.
Considering the barrier?
I'd rather back Pericles the place. But I think 250 is a good price. The first 200 is going to tell us the story.
You'd hate to see her go under, because she's a superstar, one of my favourites. But like Private Harry last week, went in unbeaten and found a couple better that day. I think Pericles has come back enormous. Group 1 placed, perennial Group 1 placed. It's never won that big Group 1, Pericles, and is a pretty sharp horse.
Yeah, that first up win was pretty impressive.
Yeah. The second of the big Group 1s up there is the Metropolitan over the 2,400 metres, and this is $5.50 the field here. Tab Markets, Soul of Spain is your favourite. Birdman, who was so good winning in that photo last start, $6.50. Third line of betting, changing of the guards at $8.50. Vauburn, $9, as is Travolta. So really wide open Metrop.
Wide open and a pretty messy speed map. You might see Piggyback and Juja Kibo roll across from out wide. Changing the guard is probably your leader, at least initially. I don't think Travolta will be too far back from barrier 1. Probably try to hold a position from there. Soul of Spain won his last 4. 3 of those 2,000 metres plus. Gets in with 50.5 kilos and beat a number of his rivals here fair and square last start. But I'm actually going with a bit of a roughie here, Brown Dog. I think Flying Bandit could be one at upwards of $20 just for each way players. Thought he did enough first up and then just got left behind last Saturday, had 60.5 kilos on-pace dominated race. It felt like a real sort of prep run for this. Quick back up, drops 10.5 kilos, which is a nice drop in weight. And I think he lobs in a nice trailing spot from barrier 5. So class is absolutely the query, whether he's up to these. But, I mean, there's some quality at the top, but then I think it's a pretty wide open race. So Flying Bandit for me. Vauban obviously has the ability, but how do you trust him? I can't trust him at the moment.
Yeah, it's a wide open race. So I was with changing of the guard. Thought the run at Flemington 2 starts back with the 60 kilos when it got beaten. Bold Sol, I think it was, ran it down late, but was fighting to the line. And then small field, I made Travolta my best of the day, remember? And,
Yes.
Changing the guard just controlled the race up front.
Great ride on changing
He was,
the guard,
wasn't it? And still really tough to the line. So another one that's dropping significantly in weight. It goes from 59 to 54.5. Doesn't quite have the 10.5 kilos weight swing. But I thought, $859 was not a bad price. And if anyone knows how to find a stayer that can go on and win a cup, it's Lloyd Williams. So interesting race, that one. And wide open. So plenty of value if you can find the winner.
Yeah. Hopefully Flying Bandit.
It's hopefully Flying Bandit. Third Group 1 up in Sydney is the Flight Stakes, and we have a very short price favourite here. Apocalyptic is $1.80 on the tab market. Then you've got Tupacara, who's it's a 4-time group placed maiden.
I know, best maiden in the country,
isn't
surely.
it? Yeah. And the best maiden used to be Laws of Indices, which was also trained by Annabelle Neesham. And that's been retired now, so maybe this maiden is the best in the country. $6 within the Laws, $7.50, and Queen of Clubs $9.50. Apocalyptic has been explosive.
Certainly has. I think this race looks a little bit more straightforward than the Metrop that we just discussed. I mean, it's hard to see how they beat her off that T-Rose win last start. She meets a number of the same horses, level weights, and has drawn better than Tupacara. It's just the mile, I guess, is the new challenge, but she gives the impression that she'll run it right out. So I think Apocalyptic gets the job done here. Within the Law is probably the main danger, just because it'll be right up on the speed from barrier 2. Placed in 5 from 8 at this track, and previous mile run, which was at Group 1 level, only just missed there. So we know it'll run out the mile. But Apocalyptic for me should be too good for these. Yeah,
if this horse brings anything near what it has been in the past, it should win this and win this quite well. I think it's short enough, though, in the market, $1.80. You wouldn't want to be taking anything under that.
Yeah, $1.80 is probably a fair price, but you wouldn't be chiming in at less than that, I don't think.
Well, they're the 3 Group 1s up in Sydney. We'll take a quick break and be back with Katelyn McDonald.
We're on for spring racing. Watch every race live with 4 live channels, plus the fastest vision on Sky 1 and 2. Trials, replays and previews, all on Sky Plus on the Tab app. Tab. We're on.
What are you really gambling with?
Oh, joining us here on Hold All Tickets is Katelyn McDonald. Thanks very much for joining us. How have you seen the spring so far?
Oh, I've loved the spring so far. Obviously, it kicked off pretty well for our household early with Via Sistina winning the Wing Stakes, which has kicked off her preparation. And then, unfortunately, she got beaten in the Makybe Diva Stakes. But, that's got to be a big highlight for me, winning the Wing Stakes.
Is there a special celebration that you and James do after coming home from a Group 1 day?
We just love getting, definitely a champagne.
Nice.
That's our favourite. But we love coming back and celebrating with the girls, and they're getting to a good age now where they're cheering and starting to understand what's going on. And it's always fun celebrating. We probably leave it, probably not for Saturday nights, but for Sundays we have a nice lunch and a nice little Chablis.
Chablis, not Bollinger?
Yeah, well, it depends what Group 1 we win.
Nice.
You touched on the Makybe Diva just before. When you were watching that race, obviously J-Mac was riding and you're a former jockey yourself. What did you think when you were watching that race live?
Yeah, it was tough. I've sort of come out and I've already said it, but I would have personally sat outside the leader. It's obviously not the grand final for Via Sistina to win the Makybe Diva Stakes. It's just a stepping stone on her path to the Cox Plate. So I can understand why he did what he did, but it just would have made more sense just to lob outside Mr. Brightside. Whether it would have made the difference or not, maybe it wouldn't have. Maybe he just still would have got that soft lead and he still would have kicked on and won. But yeah, it's I think it's pretty well documented.
It is, yeah. It's been done to death.
Well, obviously, you got all the silverware in the background. Do you miss riding, or are you more than happy to be on the other side of the fence?
Definitely more than happy to be on the other side of the fence now. I miss the thrill of winning. There's no other feeling like it. It doesn't matter where I was winning, whether it be at Chuka during the week or at Flemington on a Saturday. That feeling is like no other. And definitely still get to live the dream through James, which is nice. And to be around these incredible horses that he gets to ride and go and meet them is pretty special.
James didn't get to make the decision this weekend. The coach made the coach's call, Chris Waller. If J-Mac did have the choice between obviously Via Sistina down here in Melbourne or Autumn Glow in the Epsom, which way do you think he would have lent?
I still think he would have gone with Via, only because she's just been such a tremendous horse for him in his career. As we said, the grand finals, the Cox played, and look, she's going as better as good as she possibly can go. So yeah, I still think that he would have stayed with Via. Autumn Glow is definitely the next big thing, and hopefully he can get back on her.
How do you see things playing out in the big Group 1s this weekend? We'll start with the Epsom. Does Autumn Glow just get the job done there?
Yes, she gets the job done, all right. I think she wins, and she wins by a space, easily.
Do you have an opinion on the Metrop? It's obviously the market says it's far more wide open than the Epsom, but is there one you like there?
Yeah, it is. It is wide open. God, anything can win the Metrop. It's just one of those races, isn't it? Whoever gets the best run in transit, I think. They look like there's a little bit of speed on, so they should all get their chance. But, it's going to be a great race, the Metrop.
And a couple of shorties in the flight stakes, obviously Apocalyptic and Via in the Turnball. Do those two favourites do the right thing by punters, or is there something at value there?
I think so. I think Apocalyptic is the one. I actually saw her in the stables yesterday. She is unbelievable to look at. She looks like a colt. She's so big and strong. Michael Friedman has her flying. So, I think Apocalyptic will be really hard to beat. And Via, the only query for mine is barrier 1. She's such a big horse, needs momentum. I think the hardest to beat there for her would be the stablemate and Aliana. Looking forward to seeing Sir Delius. He is something else. Still feel like we haven't gotten to the bottom of him yet. I'd nearly say he's my long forecast for the Cups, Sir Delius.
You work alongside Emma Friedman on Channel 7 Racing. Now, her uncle put her into Apocalyptic. Did she try and spread the love around at all and try and tip you into that great horse?
You know what? She didn't, and she's put me into one called Cinder Sea,
right.
And
good.
Who knows where it is. And to be fair, she did win a race, Cinder Sea. She's had no luck with injuries, but I think she's up at the Gold Coast now, so she might be going around Kilcoyne next week.
Come on, Emma. She needs to be a bit better than that. You need to get the inside mail from her uncle.
We'll revisit this in a couple of weeks, but just quickly, as it stands, top tip for the new Big Five, I guess. So Caulfield Cup.
Oh, it's tough. Okay. Well, let's stick with. If Sir Delius goes there, I really want to watch him. I think he's the Melbourne Cup, but Caulfield Cup, maybe a horse like Land Legend might be his year.
Okay.
Cox Plate, it's got to be Via, doesn't it?
I think so.
Melbourne Cup, obviously Sir Delius. What about the Everest? Can they beat Car Ying Rising?
Oh, tell you what, he's going to be awfully hard to beat. I know he's got all these jumps that he's got to go through, the travelling, but he looks like he's handling it. Gee, from all reports, he's unbeatable. So I'm going to roll with him. Car Ying.
Jump on the train. And the Golden Eagle, which is a bit of a tougher one at this early stage.
Oh, Autumn Glow wins it. Okay. Leg in the air.
Very confident. 5-leg multi, lock it in.
Throw her into all your multis.
and at the end of the carnival, obviously J-Mac's heading to Hong Kong for a stint. Is a more permanent move in the plans for the family in the future?
Well, we're always open to Hong Kong. We love being there. but everything's going so well here in Australia for James. So he gets the best of both worlds at the moment. So I'd say nothing will change in the near future.
Is he superstitious at all?
Yes.
So track work on the Tuesday before the Cox Plate, does he fall off Via Sistina again?
Oh.
Just for good luck?
I hope not. But I don't know. This year do they work her 3 laps with no rider? I don't know.
Yeah, topped her up beautifully. No, thanks very much for your time, Katelyn. We really appreciate it.
No worries. Thanks, guys.
Oh, there's a great chat, nice and insightful. What do you reckon they talk about over the kitchen table outside of racing?
I might switch off from racing.
Yeah, I think so.
I'd be sick of it anyway.
Absolutely. Self Trumpeters time, Lamby.
Indeed. Not a lot of movement on the leaderboard.
Okay.
It's very compressed, so someone needs to put their hand up and get off the 3 votes and take up the clear running. But we'll start with Kane Corns, 1 vote. That moves him into 3, equal top. The footy season's over, so this might be his last vote for a while, but he's not exactly a shrinking violet, so I'm sure we'll hear.
Trade period, he'll still
We'll
pop
hear
his
from
head
him,
up.
yeah, absolutely. This was Kane talking about his own show, Fireball, with David King during the week.
And perhaps a best of edition, because I've got to say, we've been in ripping form this year, so we just have to remind you all of some of our best bits as a team.
We've been in ripping form this year. It might be true, but that's still a good self-trumpet.
He was actually meant to ride from Melbourne to Brisbane if Lockie Neal played, and
I think
he's
he
pulled
put in
out.
a little caveat where if Neil was the sub, he wasn't going to do it. I think they let him off.
Okay, I wouldn't let him off.
No, especially because he played a half and had 17 touches.
17 goal, not bad.
He should be getting on the bike. 2 votes. Prince Rubiton, after Bayvuk, not Baywatch, won the Golden Rose in a canter. The Prince posted his bet slip for the winner, showing $51 all in. If that wasn't enough of a trumpet, he went with the caption, "Tempted would have been even bigger all in, but this softens the blow." How's the use of softens the blow after a 50-1 winner?
Yeah.
Get your hand off it, Prince. So he gets 2 votes there. And 3 votes, the 6th Day Racing account, which is Racing Preview. So the votes go to the Racing Previews account. They just got a little bit ahead of themselves last weekend and they went the dreaded early crow and it backfired a touch. So they posted a couple of bet slips, tempted to win the Golden Rose at $26, which is excellent shopping there.
Great shopping.
And Lady Shenandoah to win the Manikato, $250 at 6.
Yeah.
So again, taking big overs there. And they went with the caption, "It's a fat old weekend incoming for the futures list. Sign up via the link below." You know what happened after forecasting a fat old weekend? Both horses were beaten as favourites. 2 things here. You can't eat overs. We always say that. And don't tempt fate with the punting gods. They went early with that.
Yeah.
Great shopping, but the bottom of the bag fell out. Racing Previews, so they get the 3 votes this week.
It's always the way when you're bragging, you think you've
showing off the overs.
Got the right horse, the right race, everything's worked out, but doesn't cross the line first.
That's a bit brave doing it early before pre-race.
Yeah. They got to fair bit of flack for it, but they said that they got a lot of sign-ups from that.
Okay.
So
that might soften
was the
the
silver
blow.
lining.
Sure they did. How many are sticking around though after that?
Well, it's not like you can chime in and take those. You're taking unders.
Very well-deserved 3 votes there. Now let's look at Flemington because we're at headquarters here for the Turnball Stakes. Fascinating race, this one. Tab odds are Via Sistina with J-Mac in the saddle at $2.60 favourite and deservingly. Aliana, $4.80. Sir Delius coming off that brave win at Caulfield, $5. Half yours. That's an interesting runner. Interested to get your opinion on the McAvoy horse, half yours, $9.50, and Antino, double figure odds for Antino, which is very appetising.
Yeah, if we knew the best version of Antino was turning up, that's probably over the odds. It's an interesting race because River of Stars might be here just to inject a bit of tempo into the race. Not saying it's a pacemaker, but and Williams, I think, will go forward on Sir Delius from the outside gate. Golden Path should lob in the first 3 without any trouble. And interesting to see where Via Sistina ends up from barrier 1. Hopefully not too far back. But I think with Via, you just have to forgive that last start. I mean, it was a joke of a race and it was far from J-Mac's best steer, if we're being honest. Won this race last year and record over 2,000 is outrageously good. There's no horse in Australia that compares with her over 2,000. So I think she can bounce back with even luck from the inside alley. But I also think there's another good bet in the race. Golden Path, the place at upwards of $4 last
we
time.
tipped that last start as well.
Absolutely flying this prep. Get some nice weight relief here coming back from weight for age.
Yeah.
Meet Sir Deli is 3 kilos better for a half length margin in the Underwood. And we know that 2,000.
You did say you're getting yourself in a good position early as well.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
expected to hold that?
He does look the map horse for sure. I think barrier 3 will get every possible chance. And we've seen him run well at Flemington. So, I think, again, little same race multi perhaps, Via Sistina and Golden Path, or play those two in exotics. That's the way I'd be going.
Do you have one in this race?
Yeah,
Max?
I have one. You talked about half yours are interesting.
Yeah.
I don't mind punting on it for a place. Won the last start and it's first and second over its last 2 trips over this distance. So I don't mind that as a little bit of a play.
Really exciting horse and obviously destructive last time, but beat Walkers compared to these. So I think I'd prefer him in a handicap at this stage. But very nice. And Caulfield Cup's dropping away a lot. It does look his race now. It doesn't look like Buckaroo's going there. One of our black bookers, and Aliana's likely not going there as well. So that race is up for grabs.
Yeah, I'm just going to back Antino in to bounce back to its best. Obviously, first up, really disappointing at Caulfield, and then the Maccabi Diva was absolutely no hope the way the race was panning out. So up to the 2,000, you're getting $10. It's not a bad each way price, and if it can come out and produce its best, it can certainly challenge Via Sistina. Maybe even you look ahead towards the Cox Plate, currently $9. If it runs really well on Saturday, it's not going to be $9 for the Cox Plate.
If he was to get back to that Doomben Cup run, he'd give this a shake for sure.
Yep. So, no, nice price there, and pretty good race at Turnball this year. I'm excited for that. The Danehill's the Group 2, the 1,100 metre race, which is fascinating. Open field, this one. Rosberg is 420, thanks to Tab. Tentris 460. You've got My Gladiola 550. Tycoon Star, who's one of my favourites, $7. Jimmy Redcard, $8. Legacy Bound, $8. And double figures for the other 3 runners. But Rosberg, brilliant on debut at the Valley. Greener than some of the stuff that Snoop Dogg was rolling this week. It's got a lot to learn. But interesting is the rider change, because Jamie Carr off, Jamie Mellon, Ben Mellon
husband on. Yeah.
So they're keeping it in the family.
And Mellon's in the ownership.
There you go.
As well. So very much keeping it in the family.
Do you have a high opinion of this horse, or do you think that it's still pretty raw and it's got a lot to learn?
Definitely have a high opinion. Not many horses do what he did at the Valley, having their first look. Like, he wasn't in a great spot, but then as soon as he got into the clear in the straight, he was electric. I know that overall time wasn't flash, but that was more to do with the fact how the race was run. He was incredible late. I think the Flemington straight should suit. He's a big boy, and I think it'll suit. But I'm going with Tentris just because it's got the runs on the board at Flemington. We've seen it win by about 3 lengths here, beaten a lip in the Blue Diamond, won the Group 2 Todman. So it's probably the more established horse at this stage, but Rosberg could easily get
blow him away.
Yeah, get to that mark. So, cracking race. I mean, Legacy Bound is 3 from 3, won over this route last start. Interesting, there was a big drifter on track last time, so maybe it looked like it still had more improvement to come. So it could go to another level as well. But it's a cracking race. I mean, Tycoon Star as well. Bit disappointing last time, but really good prior to that. So it's a good race.
Yeah, absolutely. I was with Rosberg. I just think any natural improvement, and certainly loses nothing with Benny Mellon jumping on board. It's drawn well. It could be anything, this horse.
Yeah, and I think it's now favourite for the Coolmore or on the top line of betting anyway. So
yeah.
Interesting to see what it does first time down the straight.
Absolutely. Let's have a look at the Black Bookers. You can sign up for your own Black Booker for free with Punters Lite account. Head to punters.com.au to sign up now. We had a bit of luck with the Black Book over the weekend, didn't we? And who you adding and subtracting?
Yeah, so Plymouth got the job done in the Benalla Cup on Friday, so he stays
pretty comfortably too.
We're not sacking any.
Yep.
No omissions. Point Barrow was huge in defeat at the Valley. Should have won. Just got too far back from the outside gate. That horse stays in. And Athanatos, very good again. Just wants further. Just run it over further next time, please. He stays in. But we're adding 2 horses this week, one obvious, one not so. I Only Wish as the first one. Never does much fresh, 4 starts for 1 placing, but ran at crack at first up over 1,400 on Saturday. It was a mile back at the top of the straight, but zoomed home. Fastest final furlong there, so look for her in a BM 70 to 78 next time, hopefully a mile, so she can get the job done. And the other one, the obvious one, was Ole Dancer. Should have won the 1,000 guineas prelude. Probably with a leg in the air, really. She was in a different postcode at the top of the straight. Set a task. Shim was either red hot or ice cold last weekend. It was interesting what he produced, but this wasn't one of his better rides. I think she'll take plenty of beating in the 1,000 guineas if they go that way, which sounds like they're going to.
Yep. Okay. Well, nothing caught my eye this week. So
no random country runners caught your eye, Randy?
No, nothing. It's been a bit light on sort of the start of this week, but I'll keep looking at those country tracks.
But yeah, we've had a bit of luck with the Black Bookers so far, so they are running well.
No, it's been good. You'd be silly not to sign up. That's punters.com.au. Make sure you don't miss any of our Black Bookers coming up for the rest of the spring. Best bets time.
It is indeed. Got a lift on last week.
Yeah, we certainly do, because we started this show, the first 3 or 4 weeks we're on fire.
4 weeks. Yeah. We didn't
back to earth, but we're not missing them by much.
No.
We'll get back on board. And Lamby, you got a bit of an interesting play, don't you?
I do, yeah. I'm splitting it up. I'm having 90 the win on display. I think she's clearly the best bet at Flemington on Saturday. Last run was an absolute car crash. Barrier 1, just never got a crack at them in the straight. Awesome winning first up at Caulfield. Beat Shadavar that day, who's since won well, so the form's stacked up. Hopefully Benny Mellum should keep her out of trouble from Barrier 8. So 90 the win on display, and I'm having a little tenner on Amenable in the last race. I think $14 maybe last time I looked. Been a big letdown, this horse, since showing a lot of early promise, but best runs have always been fresh, and I've really liked his jump outs. Just needs a good ride from Barrier 14, but a tenner there maybe to get us out of trouble at the end of the day.
You've been in form of the last race of the day as well.
Last race of the
past
day
few weeks.
Good, apart from a bounding last week.
My best of the day is Randwick Race 2, number 2, eviction notice in the Breeders' Plate. All these 2-year-old debutants, and this Waterhouse Bot runner trialled up and won by nearly 8 lengths. Absolutely blew them away. Mail is, this could be the best horse that the stable have had since Piero, which is saying something.
It's not like Jay to make a big statement.
Yeah, well, that's right, I know. So you take her on her word. It's around $2.40 at the time of filming here. And hopefully, if eviction notice gets the job done for you, you can keep the landlords at bay. And
that might have been one of Marcus's omen bets.
Yeah, I know. I've actually got an omen bet in race 2.
So, yeah, all right.
So the omen bets weren't great last week, so I'm having 3 cracks this week. They're all at Randwick, but the one in race 2 you was talking about, and you will know this, it's close to our hearts, Brown Dog, because it's called Whip Cracker. And if you remember back to Flemington earlier in the week, we were filming some content there, and it's $11 to place. Look, I think it's about $80 to win that race. But I actually did get whipped by Brown Dog with the horse. So there's a little omen there. I've got another one, race 1 at $14, Irish Bliss. Let's just say it's going to be a good horse, and I like my horses how I like my women. Let's just say that. It's going well. Irish Bliss, $14. And then lastly, boys, I was diagnosed with a condition earlier in the week. So this one is called Fully Lit, and I was diagnosed with a condition. It's called being a dead set legend. Which is why I'm backing Fully Lit at $8 to go all the way.
I like it. The problem with, I had the whip, right? And when I was hitting him pretty hard, most people would say, stop. He told me to keep going. So,
yeah, I was like, don't tempt me with a good time, bro.
Was it on the rump or the back? Where were you hitting him?
Right on the backside, wasn't it?
Yeah.
The kinky Marcus, we call him now.
It wasn't the first time Brandon's done that. I can tell he's had experience.
Fingers crossed a couple of those best slob for us and some of the omens. We've been speaking AFL, that's done. We've got the NRL, and it is going to be an unbelievable grand final. Yeah. The Melbourne Storm, who you know what you're going to get against almost like the Harlem Globetrotters of the NRL at the moment, the Broncos. They're just finding ways to win. Who do you like in that game?
Marcus.
It's going to be the first grand final without the Panthers since 2019.
Yeah.
So it'll be a little bit of a different viewing, but I do fancy the Storm. I think they're just a little bit more reliable perhaps on the big stage compared to the Broncos.
I'm Broncos, man.
I've got to go the Storm.
Do ya?
Local. Melbourne man. But Geez, the Broncos are good to watch. That
They are.
game against the Raiders a couple of weeks ago was one of the best games of league I've watched. So, no, it'll be a cracking game because both teams are really entertaining. So, looking forward to it. Jerome Hughes, Clive Churchill for me.
Okay. Yeah, no, I'm with the Broncos. I just can't go past what the momentum they've had from the Raiders game, coming back from behind 14-0 at halftime to win again against Penrith. They should be chock full of confidence. I thought they should be favourites, to be honest, but you'd be brave putting up a market with a Craig Bellamy side as underdogs, wouldn't you?
Be a big month up in Brisbane if they get the chocolates as well.
No, absolutely.
And then Antino wins the Turnball.
Huge. There's another magnificent episode of Hold All Tickets, 4 Group 1s. We're excited. This episode's been brought to you by Tab. Follow the Hold All Tickets page on Bets Friends to copy all our tips for the weekend and plenty more. Good luck, punters.
Tab. We're on.
Imagine what you could be buying instead. For free and confidential support, call the number on the screen or visit the website.